Let me tell you something that most riders don't even realize until it's too late. The way you start your motorcycle can make the difference between a machine that lasts you for years or one that eats itself alive piece by piece. Sounds dramatic, right? But that's exactly the problem. Most people shrug it off as just starting the bike. They treat it casually, like flipping on a light switch. But a motorcycle isn't some lifeless object. It's a high-performance machine with delicate moving parts, and if you wake it up the wrong way, you're silently killing it every single day. Here's the brain trap most riders fall into. They think damage comes from crashes, accidents, or pushing the engine too hard. Wrong. The truth is, it's these tiny habits, the ones you don't even notice, that destroy a motorcycle from the inside out. And starting it the wrong way is at the very top of that list. Why? Because the very moment you press that starter button, every part of your engine is dry, cold, and unprepared. You're asking it to work before it even has the chance to protect itself. Imagine forcing yourself to sprint right after waking up. No stretching, no warm-up. Your body would snap under the pressure. That's exactly what you're doing to your bike if you start it carelessly. Now, here's where it gets even darker. This mistake doesn't break your motorcycle in one big moment. It breaks it slowly, quietly, in ways you won't notice until it's too late. The engine wears faster, the parts grind down, and before you know it, you're facing expensive repairs or a bike that just doesn't feel the same anymore. And the cruel irony? Almost nobody realizes it was their own starting habit that caused the downfall. So if you think starting your bike is just a simple key and go, I'm telling you, you've already set yourself up for failure. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to expose exactly what this big mistake is, why it's killing your motorcycle, and how you can fix it before it ruins your ride forever. 1. The big mistake. Revving on startup. Most riders hit the ignition and instantly twist the throttle. They think it wakes up the bike or helps it warm faster. But in reality, that's the single most destructive thing you can do to a motorcycle. You're shocking an engine that isn't ready, like forcing someone to run a sprint the second they wake up. It's abuse disguised as habit. Second, dry engine, maximum damage. When your bike has been sitting, all the oil has drained to the bottom of the engine. The pistons, bearings, and cylinders are dry. When you rev on a cold start, those dry parts are forced into high-speed contact, metal scraping metal. That early damage doesn't fix itself. It compounds over time. Every careless rev is shaving off the life of your engine. 3. Fuel flooding. The silent killer. During a cold start, your bike automatically runs rich, extra fuel to keep it alive. If you rev it, you dump in even more fuel. That fuel doesn't burn properly. It washes down the cylinder walls, diluting and stripping the protective oil film. The result? Faster wear, microscopic scars, and a weak engine long before its time. 4. Exhaust destruction. Revving cold sends raw, unburnt fuel straight into the exhaust. This poisons your catalytic converter, builds up carbon, and slowly suffocates your bike's performance. Riders think it sounds cool to gun it on startup, but behind that sound is a slow death sentence for your exhaust system. 5th habit that feels harmless, but costs thousands. Here's the manipulative truth. You might already be guilty of this. Maybe you've done it to show off. Maybe it's just muscle memory. But every single one of those revs is silently cutting years off your motorcycle's life. The engine will eventually sound rougher, feel weaker, and break down sooner, and you'll think it just aged. But deep down, you'll know the truth. It was death by your own hand. 6. The right way to start a motorcycle. The solution is brutally simple, but requires patience, which most riders lack. Start the engine. Leave the throttle alone. Let it idle, calm and steady, for 30 seconds to a minute. That's when oil spreads, parts get lubricated, and the bike prepares itself for real performance. No showing off, no forced revs, just respect. 7. The real difference between smart riders and foolish ones. Impatient riders kill their bikes without even realizing it. Smart riders, the ones whose machines run smoother and last longer, understand that discipline at startup is the ultimate difference. Those extra seconds of patience pay back in years of reliability and thousands saved on repairs. So now you know, the so-called little rev at startup isn't harmless at all. It's the single biggest silent killer of your motorcycle. And here's the real twist. Most riders don't even realize they're guilty of it. They'll sit there, defending themselves, saying, "Oh, I've always done it, and my bike's fine." So now you know, the so-called little rev at startup isn't harmless at all. It's the single biggest silent killer of your motorcycle. And here's the real twist. Most riders don't even realize they're guilty of it. They'll sit there defending themselves, saying, "Oh, I've always done it, and my bike's fine." But what they don't see is the slow wear, the hidden damage building up inside. It's like smoking. Just because you don't drop dead after one cigarette doesn't mean it's not destroying you. Now I want to know, be brutally honest. Have you ever done this? Have you started your bike and instantly given it that "look at me" rev? Don't lie, because I know 90% of riders have. Drop a comment below and confess. Are you guilty of this mistake? Or are you one of the rare, disciplined riders who already knew the truth? And let's make this fun. If you've been guilty, type "I confess." If you've always been patient, type "I respect my bike." Let's see which side wins. But either way, after today, you'll never look at starting your motorcycle the same again.